What's up guys, welcome back to the Gaming Careers YouTube channel. Today we are going to be talking about the big news that hit last week, that is that Streamlabs, who developed some of the software that we've covered on this channel, such as the stream labels, the alerts software that we've covered, they have announced that they're releasing their own broadcasting software similar to OBS, and they've called it Streamlabs OBS, or SLOBS for short. It aims to combine all of the streaming windows that you usually have open, like your video preview, your chat, your alerts, all of these into one application, and supposedly it's got better video quality and lower CPU usage. In this video, we're going to be checking out some of the new features that SLOBS brings to the table, some things we haven't seen in streaming applications before. We'll also be going over some of the limitations and current bugs, as well as looking at the development roadmap to see what's coming in the future. So let's dive in. So before we jump headfirst into the software, it's worth quickly talking about the differences and the relationship between OBS and Streamlabs OBS, because there's some confusion in the name, and some people were saying on Twitter that they're affiliated with each other, which isn't true. But first we have to discuss that OBS is an open source project, and what that means is that anybody could contribute to the code base for OBS. If you had any knowledge of C or C++, you could look at the code base for OBS, make changes to it, and then you could either keep those changes to yourself, or as most people did, submit pull requests to the OBS team. They can check out what changes you've done, and if they're good enough and they approve of them, then they'll make it into the OBS software. So what Streamlabs have done is they have taken this core OBS software and they have made loads of changes both to the UI as well as adding some new functionality, and they have released their version. So it still has the core OBS functionality, but they have made quite a lot of changes. And part of the OBS open source license means that Streamlabs is also free, it's also open source, so anybody can look at the code base and anyone can submit code changes or make changes and keep them for themselves. So I just wanted to echo that they aren't developed by the same set of people. SLOBS is a fork of OBS, so it still has a lot of the same functionality, but I imagine as these projects grow, they're going to be growing further and further apart. Enough techno waffle, let's jump into the software. I've included a link in the description of this video of where you need to go to download SLOBS, but it is worth mentioning that this video won't be a full setup and stream guide for SLOBS. I'm going to be looking more at the features and some of the pros and cons of the software, and obviously if there's enough interest in a separate tutorial series for SLOBS, I'll be creating that as well. So one of the features that SLOBS mentions on the website is that it has a 60-second setup, and I've got to say this is one of the best onboarding experiences I've ever had, especially within streaming software. They've managed to massively simplify the setup process. So all you really have to do is firstly connect your Twitch or YouTube account with SLOBS and authorize the application. Next, you'll have the option to import scenes and sources from our existing OBS installation. So this is particularly handy if you've already got things set up exactly as you want within OBS. Next, they're giving you the option to add what they are calling widgets to your stream. So these are things like follower, subscriber, donation alerts, tip jars, chat boxes, basically all of the software that they used to have on the Streamlabs website. These are now called widgets within SLOBS, and you can add them here, but you can also add them later super easily, so I'm just going to skip this step. Finally, you'll get to the optimized screen, which in my opinion is an absolute godsend, since it's by far the most common thing that I get asked on my YouTube channel. You know, what bitrate should I stream at? What resolution should I stream at? What FPS? Which server should I stream to? I get these questions all the time, and this optimized screen aims to take all of that guesswork out of it. It runs a wizard which analyzes your internet connection and your computer hardware, and then optimizes your settings so that they are suited to the exact setup and connection that you have. Now obviously this might not get your settings bang on perfect, and it doesn't really do a long enough connection test to truly measure your connection stability, but for the purpose of this video I think it will do just fine. Once it's finished, you should see your main streaming window, which they've called Editor, and it will look pretty familiar to what OBS looks like. So if you're an OBS user, it should all look pretty familiar. Now I found that some of my OBS scenes may have imported slightly strangely, you know, some things just positioned wrong, and I'm sure this is just a minor bug that they will be fixing relatively quickly, but it doesn't really take too long for me to go back in and just reposition the odd source. One really great addition that Streamlabs have brought in is found when you add a new source. To demonstrate this, I'll quickly remove my old alert source and then add it back in as a widget. Now this might not seem like a big difference, but in my opinion this new window will massively help new streamers to understand what it is they are trying to add. Clicking through any of the sources or widgets here shows a detailed description and an image illustrating the type of sources that you have selected. I'm just going to be re-adding the alert box back in. Now, another feature that Streamlabs have added in is the ability to test your alerts right from within Streamlabs OBS. All you have to do is click this little test widgets button and then choose the type of alert you wish to test. If you want to edit any of those alerts, all you have to do is go across to the dashboard tab, and you should see that this is the exact same as the Streamlabs website dashboard. You can then go down to the widget you want to edit and play around with the text, the color, the size, the GIF, the sounds, all of those settings there. If you want more details on editing these alerts, my video on Streamlabs alerts is still pretty relevant, which I'll link to in the top right YouTube card. The next window we'll look at is the library window. This is going to help so many new streamers. I think one of the toughest things about starting a stream is getting a good looking overlay and everything in position. And this is a library of supposedly 3,000 different overlays and stream designs that you can import for free. I believe currently there are only about 240 overlays available, but they are constantly adding more. Down the left hand side you can filter them by colour, whether you want an animated or static overlay, or even by which genre of game you are playing. If you find one that you like the look of, you can click on it and view all of the different aspects of the overlay that come included. Most of them come at least with a live scene, a stream starting scene, and a be right back scene. Just click install overlay to add it into your editor's scenes. It will download and it should take you straight into the editor. Everything is already set up. Recent followers will show here, chat will show here, everything is already set up. All you have to do is go down to the background image, delete it, add your game capture instead, make sure that's the bottom layer, and you're ready to go live. Everything is set up. I can't really emphasize how much time I think that's going to save new streamers that just want to dive in and get going with streaming. Note that all of your collection scenes are shown if you click this little drop down arrow here. So if you want to get back to one of the ones that you imported from OBS, you just click the arrow here and select that one. The final and maybe the most important window is the live window. Now this is what they're talking about when they say that you can have an all-in-one application. But before we even start to admire it, let's make sure that we are seeing it in its full glory. Click this little arrow to show your stream chat on the right hand side, and obviously if you prefer this to be on the left hand side, you can change that in the settings. Now just look at all the info that you get in this window. This is the window that you should have open on a second monitor if possible when you are streaming. It shows all of your recent events like new followers, subscribers, donations, with easy options to skip alerts if you need to. It allows you to control which scene is displaying on stream, as well as all the sound control, so you can easily mute your mic or change the music volume, as well as showing you a stream preview of what's broadcasting live. It also shows you your live stream chat, how many viewers you have, and allows you to edit your stream info all from one window. This, Streamlabs claims, helps save significant CPU and RAM, since it combines loads of windows that you used to have open in different applications all into one application. So you won't have to have your browser open as well as all those other applications to monitor chat and alerts. The last feature that we're going to be covering is what Streamlabs is claiming is up to 2 times better video encoding, which I think is quite a claim and maybe not entirely true, but they have definitely made improvements. Streamlabs have released a blog post detailing what exactly they mean by this, and it does look super interesting. They've apparently hired a whole team of video encoding engineers who have been running tests on a subset of games to see what combinations of settings in the X264 video encoder give the best quality results in the end. This means that they are able to tweak your encoder settings based on the game that you are playing to squeeze every bit of quality that they can from the bitrate chosen. Now right now they say that they have settings for only a few selected games: League of Legends, Dota 2, Destiny 2, Fortnite, and PUBG. And it's important to note that this is only currently for the X264 codec, so you'll see no improvements for the NVENC from Nvidia or the AMD codecs, although these are planned for a future release. I plan on doing a deeper and much nerdier dive into this technology and actually comparing measurable results between OBS and Streamlabs OBS in a future video. I actually wrote my university thesis on quality improvements in the X264 codec, so maybe this is only interesting to me, I'm not sure. Let me know if you'd like a more detailed video. Maybe I can get one of the Streamlabs engineers in to tell us more about it. But for now, I think it's a super exciting exercise and one that I know Netflix and Amazon and other video-based companies have had lots of success with, so it's great that they're doing it in the gaming space, and I'm really excited to see how this improves. So that's just a handful of some of the cool improvements that Streamlabs OBS have integrated into their software. Obviously the software is new and it's just in beta, so there are some limitations and there are some bugs that are present in the software at the moment. One of which is that currently the Streamlabs OBS is only available for Windows and it's only available for 64-bit systems, and I know that they're having some trouble with Windows 7. This is a bug tracker that Streamlabs have set up. I've linked to it down in the description below this video so you can have a look exactly at some of the bugs that have been reported. Right now as I'm recording this video, I know that they're having some issues with YouTube chat, some issues with local recordings, and some people importing scenes from OBS are having some crashes to do with that. But these are all being investigated and the bugs are getting squashed every single day at an alarmingly quick rate. They also have links to their Discord where you can report new bugs if you find them. Another thing you might want to look at is the roadmap. Again, I've linked to this down in the description below this video. This is basically Streamlabs OBS current priorities of what the developers are working on. You can see that some of the priorities at the moment are fixing a lot of the issues that people are facing, but they're also building in some key features like Elgato Stream Deck. They want to do something to do with face masks so that you connect them to alerts, so when somebody subscribes, a mask gets put on your face, things like that. They're also adding more overlays all the time, and some future features. They want to add studio mode back in, which currently isn't supported. They want to add their chatbot integrated, and they want to have a performance mode so that it doesn't impact as much when you're streaming. Thanks so much for watching this quick first look at Streamlabs OBS. I'm going to be creating plenty more videos on the software, as well as comparison videos between Streamlabs OBS and OBS. I think I'm going to have to start calling it SLOBS because Streamlabs OBS just takes too long to say. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. Let me know down in the description if you've tried it out and what you thought. And subscribers, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.